I have been waiting weeks, actually more like 1 week, but I have resisted every urge in my body to not go ahead and read the manga. What's up? I'm Grizz. Welcome back. Skipping Loafer, episode 2. Just want to start off and say thank you to all the comments and support that I got on the last episode. This was a series that I was excited to get into and see what it was about and watch. And I absolutely loved it so much, but I was nervous that either there wouldn't be things for me to talk about or there wouldn't be any real viewership for it, and then it would just make me feel like I wasted time editing and stuff like that. Although I do want to use this channel as something to put out content of things that I just want to enjoy watching. It's the balance I have to kind of find between what can I do to kind of grow, but what can I also do to make sure I'm enjoying what I'm doing at the same exact time. So you guys kind of reassured me a lot last week and made me feel very good. So I really appreciate that. Now, as I said, I've been fighting the urge and the temptation to go ahead and read ahead because I absolutely fell in love with that. The first episode that was last week. I've watched probably every episode 1 of things I was like very interested in going into the season already. And this is far and away my favorite one. So I'm beyond excited to continue and go into this journey and see what else we have in store for the show. I believe we left off and we're going to be doing introductions and stuff like that this episode. And then I don't know where the hell else we're going to go from there, but we'll see. And hopefully it's fun. And I guarantee almost it will be. And I'm going to enjoy my time. If you like it all, hit the like, subscribe, do mean a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion later. Leave any comments about this episode or just the series in general. And let's get going with episode 2. Kento. I don't know if I have to remember your name. I don't know if you're going to be important. Also, names, I'm kind of... It's going to take a couple of weeks, probably, before I start remembering. Yeah. Yeah, it's not as serious. It's all in your head. Yeah, it looks the same. Yeah, sure. Ooh. It's part of the plan, just leave it, yeah. I can't just not tell a joke. Obviously, right. The determination. See those bags under her eyes? She was built for those. His joke lands though, right? Wow. Is she onto it? You're being too obvious. I wonder who. Yeah, I wonder who. The government official herself. Hey, you said you wouldn't mind working for her. Let's go. Well, he feels tall. Like the way that they're framing it, at least, is making him like you actually feel the height to his character. The jealousy kicks in. Ah, boy. I feel bad too, because they're kind of using her in a way here. But she just wants friends, so it's okay. You're being a little obvious here. Okay. We got a whole squad together then. What's your point? What are you getting at?
それをいちいち身構えてたり気にしすぎても揉め事の元になるから処世術としてみんなに優しくなっちゃうんだよね。
Mm.
でも傷つくのは岩倉さんだから。
Yeah, wow, how nice. I'm concerned. There's a lot of things going on. Like a lot of angles and glaring looks of people looking at other people or having like preconceived notions about other people, and maybe they're all just concerned or trying to figure out how they can like really get in and fit in with each other or get what they want.
岩倉さん、後払いだよ。もしかしてカラオケ
Aww.
近くになくて。
たまに先払いのとこもあるよ。
そうなんだ。
And now she's gonna, yeah.
真に受けない真に受けない。君はみんなに優しい。
She's so pure. Yeah.
曲入れた？
Look at him hit that. Yeah.
得意だったり？
We're about to find out.
今の方言？
今日の俺のタンバリン切れてるわ。
So he's into her for sure. Like, for sure. There's no reason he keeps looking at her like that.
明らかに島と仲良くなるため
Right.
に話にされてんじゃん。意味わかる程度の方言聞き返してバカにしたり。気づいてるよね。気づいてませんでした。
Right, she hasn't, but that's why she's been so okay with it, because she just wants friends.
私も抜けたっていいし。
And she doesn't want to be here either. It's a tough thing, because I don't know how you handle that. I personally would just stay away from people like this, but then you kind of create a wall and don't allow yourself to really become friendly with other people if you do that, or you have to find other people, and then like I personally am not good at going out of my own way and starting something like that, so it becomes a problem. So maybe for her, she's kind of nervous that might be like her only chance and she'll blow it if that's the case, so she just wants to get close to them regardless. Yep. And then you come in and look at her trying to move her way into the picture here. Yep.
中学校は8人きりだったから。
Mm-hmm.
人間関係がこんなに難しいなんて思ってませんでした。
Absolutely.
人の心ってわかりません。
Mm-hmm. That's what I was trying to get at earlier, and I was like, there's a lot going on here. It's like small things you can't really tell.
みつみちゃん、元気だな。
I'm at karaoke.
もううちにおる？今
Aww.
カラオケにいる。カラオケ
He puts on the face to impress the people. Yeah.
みつみちゃん。今の嘘や。
Yeah. They see right through you.
嘘やね。ちょっと帰りたくなっとるでしょ今。
Mm-hmm.
ふみ、エスパー。見たら心配かけるよね。
Mm-hmm.
ふみ、
She's trying her hardest to
私たちってどうやって友
not allow others to worry for her.
だっていつもムスッとして怖い子やと思っとったもん。本当は優しい。
Yep, once you actually get to know people.
わからんかったよ。
Aw. And the same situation could possibly happen with this other girl. Might not seem good at first until you really talk to them and get to know them and their intentions.
そのピンっておしゃれ？どういう意味？
Now she's gonna overanalyze everything that people
わ
say.
かるわけないか。出会って2日だ。
Right.
こんなこと考えたって仕方なかったんだ。おしゃ
Just own it. I love it. She never said she was good, so yeah, you're just here to have fun.
れ。島君も変な分析してごめんね。
Right. What a goof. Well, she's following rule number 2, I can tell you that. Yep. That's awesome.
ID 教えて。お、友達の欄の上に追加ボタンあるでしょ。最初だし仲良くしたいなと思って来たけど、私カラオケって好きじゃない。
Right, which is...
でも今日はみつみのおかげで結構楽しかった。
Mm-hmm.
あの心ってわかりません。だから少しずつ。
One step at a time.
彼女とだ。
I don't have one,
そん
yeah.
なんじゃないけど、江頭さん、もう少し肩の力を抜いても
Yeah,
いいんじゃない？
taking things a little too serious, trying a little too hard. Mhm.
それ。
方向同じでしょ。一緒に帰ろうよ。
やっぱり里之助と似てるな。佐藤ちゃんは
佐藤ちゃん。誰と間違えたの？
Aw.
実家の
That could be his nickname.
犬。だ
犬。
って毛の色とかそっくりで。
Same color fur.
テンパで猫っけだから俺触ってみる？
Just gonna treat him like a dog.
おお、行くね。
Aw.
つみちゃんって呼んでいい？
Yeah. It might not strike her as much either because she's so used to being around so like little amount of people that it might seem kind of more natural just to call everybody by that. But I'll probably definitely get a reaction out of people when they hear it though.
岩倉さんの真似してつけちゃった。よくない？欲しい。かわいい。とっても。いいへー。ありがとう。
Yeah, see, she was just asking before.
みつみちゃんもおはよ
みつみちゃん。
Yeah, first reaction
名前呼び。
yesterday.
いいでしょう。俺のことも佐藤ちゃんでいいよ。
それは犬だから。ちょっとちょっ
Yeah.
と。おはよ
Ah, she's fine. She's totally fine right now.
岩倉みつみさんってこのクラス？
Did somebody send flowers?
う。何かご用ですか？
おお、君が新入生代表の岩倉さんか。
岩倉は私です。
It's like you, the plain looking one.
趣深い。
What? How do you get deemed cultured?
確かにそうだ。
That's not how you look.
気づかなかったよ。入学初日は吐いた人。
Ah,
それは自己紹介で面白いこと言って裏番長だろ。
making a name for yourself.
でも舞台映えしそうな。君どこかで会ったことある？いや、
Ooh.
ないですね。あ、そう？じゃあ、お邪魔しました。
This could be what I was talking about last week.
多彩ってつ真に受けてる。
It's such a beautiful, carefree way to live life, though. I mean, she just doesn't know better, but it's like, I wish.
登場人物4人の会話劇。正直、内容は難しかったけれど、驚くような発見や成果というのは、きっとこういうひたむきさの延長線上にあるのだと。島くん、見に来てたんだね。
うん、ちょっとね。
なんとなく意外。いつもより口数少ない。
What's on your mind? You want to talk about
す
it?
ごく迷ったときどうする？
部活のこと？みつみちゃんそんなに悩んでるの？
Absolutely.
迷うようなことは結局大したことじゃなかったんだって思うようにしてるよ。
Huh.
譲れないほど大事なものってそんなにたくさんないでしょ。
Okay.
じゃあみつみちゃん、俺今日ちょっと急ぐから。また明日ね。
だけど、寂しい
Absolutely.
感じのするような。なんだか不思議な人です。
Possibly presents himself way different than he.
おい、思い出したぞ。
I'm assuming they went to school together.
君、かなでくんだろ。誰かと勘違いしてません？いや、僕が言ってんのは。ごめん、先行ってて。
So he's running from something.
なんで欠かさず録画してたんだ。僕が見たのは中学生になってからなんだけど。金松先輩でしたっけ？わかりませんかね。聞かれたくないんですよ。
Mhm.
そんなこともさせられなくて、よく劇作家とか言えました。失礼。
Like the nicest way of telling someone off.
部活に入るのやめようと思う。
あら、そうなの？
でもその代わり、生徒会に入ろうと思って。今から自治というものを経験しておかないとね。
That's actually perfect,
や
though.
っぱいいわね。
It's literally perfect.
夢いっぱいのキラキラだわ。
They really said, we're going to take everything that we knocked out the park in the first one and we're going to up it and do it 10 times better in the second one. And they absolutely did. Man, was that really, really, really good. I'm almost a little concerned to go back and edit now. And have to just see myself looking like an idiot for like 20 minutes, probably smiling nonstop. But I'm happy that there is something out there like this piece of media that can make me be able to sit down and kind of forget about everything else that goes on like in life for 20 something minutes and be able to smile and find something that makes you overly happy and just have so much joy going through and watching it. So very, very happy to have something like this pop up, and especially only being 2 episodes in and having something now that I can really, really look forward to weekly. I mean, on top of some other things, of course, that I love, like series wise, but just to have something new and exciting and fresh, it's really, really cool. And I'm very, very happy that I'm here and able to put that out there and experience this and share it with everybody else who would click on one of these videos and watch this. This episode was great as it tackles kind of a lot of different things, but something that's very normal and natural. And the idea behind struggling to read social cues or understand other people, and maybe what underlying things that they have going on and what true intentions that they may have, especially also feeling like you could be an outcast because you're different in some sort of way, which is something that completely relates to multiple of the characters on here. Being concerned about how other people look at you from the outside, being concerned about how you're portrayed off to other people, even if you don't care, you are completely blind and unnoticed to it. The fact that other people may have something or may notice you and may like talk about you in a certain way that's kind of distasteful and not a good thing, and then you being overly concerned because you don't understand is like, what is their true intention? Like, are they just saying that? I mean, even if it is just rude, but they could be saying it jokingly in their mind. Maybe they have act out and have different senses of humor, but could they also just like, what's the intention behind the things that they're saying? And then you find yourself in a position where you overanalyze everything and you overthink things, and then those are the things that constantly put you in a position where like we see Mitsumi at the beginning, because she couldn't sleep the night before because of the introductions. It's the same situation where if some of this stuff didn't get resolved and she didn't kind of figure things out while at karaoke and maybe like start picking up on things, or being able to so quickly wrap her head around the idea that it's going to be okay and like, you know, take it one step at a time, that could easily leave somebody like me, especially. I've been in situations like that. You know, you have an interaction with somebody and then you replay it the entire day in your head. What could they have meant by that? What could this be? And you find yourself up at night just trying to go to sleep and thinking about this nonstop. And it's like one of those really, really shitty situations to be in, but it's very normal and it happens all the time. And probably to a lot of people. Some people are much better at others about just letting things go and not showing that off. Whether it be somebody like Shima, who can easily put on a mask and not have to show it to you and come off and act very different while he has stuff hidden underneath, so other people don't get concerned for him or be worried about what could possibly be wrong or why he's feeling this way. But then you also have people like the blonde girl. Once again, sorry about names. I'm going to struggle to forget them. And she can easily pick up on cues about what other people might be doing or what their intentions may end up being. And she kind of overanalyzes and focuses on, like, hyper focuses on what they're doing and what other people are. And she kind of just lurks in the background and kind of just pays attention and feels things out, but can notice easily when there's something off about somebody. And then you have the other side, what meets me, somebody like that who's just completely oblivious to things going on and won't notice until you bring it to her attention. And then she can, because she's so in her own little world, right? And not to say that's like a bad thing, but it's just the truth of where she's at. She even openly admits that she's struggling to pick up on things and that she does need to get better and start understanding that a bit more. And I like how we bring it full circle at the end with the acting and everything like that, how there are people like that who can put something on and disguise themselves in a way, and to show that there is, you know, other methods of that stuff happening, and there are people who can get up on stage and have to do this and act out things. Going back through the episode a bit, Nao and Mitsumi's relationship is really cute, and I really, really like it a lot. Oftentimes you see in these stories people who don't have family around or don't have good family around and don't have people who can kind of talk them through things or put them on the right track. And usually that's why we have stories that focus so hard on friends and, you know, what they can bring to the table and do for you as a person, because you need company and need people around you. Or we have stories just to people who resent their family for whatever reason, even if they aren't that bad of people. They just, it's one of those natural things as you grow up and become, you know, high school level, you kind of start distancing yourself a bit. Like, you may not want to be around your family as much or be as open and share as many things. And Mitsumi being somebody completely from the countryside and not having to deal with all that and being, as the common thing throughout this, kind of oblivious in a way to what's going on, is easily okay with just kind of sharing, what's going on with her. And they have such a great relationship together, and I like that a lot. Class introduction scene is very, very fun. It's very interesting because they did something to make it very apparent that there was some stuff going on and kind of lead you into what we're going to really get into throughout the episode. But it basically, we get to see Mitsumi go a bit above and beyond of where she probably should have to do her introduction. It should be very, simple, straightforward about who she is, where she's from, whatever. And instead, she starts thinking about how Naoto told her, you don't have to do a joke, or you don't have to do anything. Nobody's expecting these things out of you. But, she's got to take it one step further on everything. Tells a joke that absolutely bombs completely, which is just was funny as hell to see. And then also just the shift of having Shima come up and him do his, and then him tell a joke about her basically, but not at her expense, just as more of like oh, I could fall under her because if her dreams are out here to be a like government leader or whatever it is she wants to do, I could work under her, and just something nice to fun, and just a little cute moment between them. And it sets us up perfectly to put us in a position that both of them become our class leaders, because why wouldn't they? Makes perfect sense. Her also having the realization that his name is very similar to, or I guess exactly the same as her dog, her family dog, and then accidentally blurting out like the nickname for him, and then, getting on that sort of page with him and realizing they have the same color hair, her constantly calling his hair fur. Just stuff like that. She's so goofy, but she's so cute and pure and just kind-hearted, and it's so nice to see a character kind of like this. I feel we often have stories of characters that are very similar in this sort of way, who kind of are oblivious to things going on, like due to things not being fault of their own, but just in a position like this, and then they don't really have the greatest support system around them to kind of lead them in that direction, and then it could be leading to a very sad story because they get, that's how they get isolated in a way, and then they end up having no friends. With this, be able to see here that people are so open and accepting of who other people are and what they're trying to do, and I can actually just like sit there and laugh it off and have, fun with them, or correct them if something comes out, or what they talk about later with her dialect, that they'll just bring it up if it comes out. Very cool to see that we do have a group of people who are so open-minded and caring to kind of just do that, and somebody like Shima who's so easy to kind of just put on a smile and try and make other people feel comfortable. Throughout that whole last scene, though, we set something up where they start showing off characters that we haven't really been introduced yet, and show them giving kind of glaring looks towards other ones, or just eyeing somebody up and trying to understand who they are, or maybe pick up on certain cues of the other person. And that, immediately stood out to me, because why wouldn't, if you just show a character you've never seen before looking at somebody some like kind of funny. But we immediately get to kind of understand a basis of maybe what everybody's trying to do, or who's observing what you're trying to do. We have the blonde boy who constantly keeps looking at the blonde girl and he kind of sparkles every time he sees her, so I think he's just kind of into her. That's something that they didn't really touch on, but every single time she was involved, he seemed to be overly excited and just kind of glowing. So I think that's something that's very obvious, but they made that apparent because she's supposed to be this natural, very beautiful girl that everybody looks up to, like she's like some sort of goddess in a way. Very similar, I guess, in a way to how Shima is, or how all the girls end up looking at him. So it makes sense that there is somebody like that, and of course he's going to be interested in her. We get to see Mika, and she constantly has these looks towards Mitsumi whenever she's talking to Shima, and just seeing whatever's going on between them, and kind of getting jealous in a way, because she's the type of girl who would go out of her way to kind of push somebody off like Mitsumi and get her away from Shima, because that's somebody that she's eyeing and that's what she wants to be around, and she doesn't want to have a rival or somebody that she has to go against or be worried about, and she wants to be more assured that this guy's open and available for her. So she kind of starts laying traps around by maybe not acting the nicest, or trying to come off as being nice and trying to act like she's being helpful towards Mitsumi, but really having things that possibly could be very unsettling underlying things, such as talking about how everything that Shima says is going to be something that should be taken at face value, because he's naturally just this good looking guy that's very popular, that other people are going to constantly be coming up to him, and he has to take it upon himself to put himself in a position that makes him come off nicer, and not like this rude, arrogant kind of guy. Keep his status up, but also keep him in a position that other people are just like, oh, he's a good dude and he just wants to look good for other people or something. I think something along those lines, which of course is something that Mitsumi's not going to even be like, oh, I didn't even think about that. I just assumed he was always this naturally nice guy. I didn't know he was putting up this front and trying to just act like that to everybody else. It's like something that he has to. It's like something that's ingrained in him. But while that happens, we have the blonde girl kind of looking on and being like, what the hell is she doing? Like, what is this? Like, what is she trying to get at? What is she trying to get rid of this other girl and throw her aside? Like, what are her true goals and intentions behind this? I like this a lot, though, because it shows characters kind of being observant and not being completely dense, I guess the word is, and kind of oblivious like all the time. And although Mitsumi herself seems to be a little bit oblivious, she definitely can pick up on some things, especially when she's told, and she has natural reactions to things, which is really nice to see. But usually what happens is you have your main character who's like that, and then a bunch of side characters who can also be like that, and there's just some kind of normal things that you see going on, somebody doing some shit like Mika is doing here, and it makes no sense like why nobody else can pick up on this, except the viewer always ends up having to see that. So it's nice to see there's other characters who can kind of pick up on a little bit what's going on. And as we see later, Shima also is picked up on, hey, you're trying a little too hard here, like you gotta give it a break, have some fun. The karaoke portion of the episode is fantastic. It displays a lot of what we've built up in the first 5 to 10 minutes already about what's going to be happening here. And you can immediately see kind of picking fun at Mitsumi because she didn't understand how the place ends up working. She's never been to one of these places, kind of putting her at a position because she's different. And while others might not think much of it, she could be taking it as she's being kind of made fun of. We have blonde girl come up and kind of be like, hey, I'm paying attention. I see what's going on with this other girl. Be careful, or keep your distance, or don't take what she says too serious. It's, you know, and you're kind of at a place you don't feel like, or you don't look like you're kind of fitting in or enjoying yourself while you're here. If you want to go, I'm more than happy to go, like with you, and kind of reassuring her that there is somebody that's kind of looking out for her and somebody that is going to be there for her. I wonder what her whole deal is though. She's very popular. She seems to keep her distance from others. She seems to be not as open and kind-hearted in a way as somebody like Shima is, who possibly is on the same pedestal of like popularity in a way. And she kind of just seems to keep her distance. And maybe it is a reason because she doesn't want other people to get the wrong idea of what her intentions are, who she really is. So she kind of keeps it different, keeps a distance. But it also could be maybe she's hiding something that isn't something that she wants to let out, or maybe she struggles to connect with other people or open herself up to them, and she kind of keeps her distance because she doesn't want to go out of her way and have to become friends with somebody like Mika and then realize, oh shit, this is like a really shitty person. And like she kind of keeps her distance to kind of notice, I don't want to be around these type of people, and then, you know, pick and choose her spots kind of like that. But I do like having this dynamic that these two are having here, where they can kind of, if you need to go, if you want to be separate, if you need somebody to talk to about this, if you have anything like questions that you need to ask about what's going on, like you can come to her, and she's not going to be somebody who's going to have any issue with that. And she's more than happy to help. So it was a fun scene for us to see there. And immediately after she tells her what's going on, and Mitsumi's like, oh, I didn't even think about that, goes right to the door and sees Mika getting very close to Shima and trying to make a move in some sort of way, or just close the gap a little bit between them. And it gets her very upset inside. I don't know if this works her up because maybe she's noticing she has some sort of feelings towards Shima, so it's a jealousy thing that she's somebody else to her. But I think it's more along the lines of she was taking somebody to be so nice and helpful, almost as if Mika was looking out for her all this time, just for her to go and see, oh, what this girl just told me about her kind of using me in a way to close the gap and become closer to this guy is a very bad thing. She's doing it specifically for her own benefit, and she's going to step over me to be able to do it. And being able to firsthand see that as soon as she goes back right after you had the conversation about this could possibly be the case is something that's going to hurt. So maybe because she was like, I've been lied to kind of thing, got her very emotional, got her very upset. And I can't help but feel for her. That's a awful, shitty thing to do. And then we really get to see Mitsumi's true character come out when she gets a call from friend back home. She goes to answer it. You get to see her kind of trying to get herself in a position that she can answer the phone and not sound like she's been upset or crying or whatever's going on. And her friend sees right through her. Been around her so long. It's I can see everything about you, and it's a beautiful relationship for people like that to be able to have. And I absolutely love that she has somebody like this that she can call to and vent to no matter what, even if she's not going to be able to be around them anymore. And it's cool really to see. She has such a good support system, whether it be now, whether it be Shima, who seems to be there to help, be helpful and look out for her, this new blonde girl involved, friend back home, family back home. It's really cool to see. There's plenty of people who are trying to help her and be looking out for her. The karaoke, the actual singing portion, when Mitsumi finally heads back into the booth, is very cool to see too. She immediately gets asked about the pin that she's wearing, and then based on the interactions and the things that she's just talked about and seen right before this, leads her to believe, is she making fun of me in a way? Is this a bad thing? Is she trying to come at me maybe because I'm childish in a way because of whatever's on the pin or just whatever it is? How do you take that situation? You can play it off. It's very similar to what just happened with the introduction. She can very simply just answer the question straightforward, keep it as it is, and then get going. She can try and analyze and be like, this is what these people, this is the reaction or the answer she's looking for. So I have to play it off this way. You can be honest with yourself and just put out there whatever it is, right? And ultimately just chooses the honesty, right? Yeah, like this is whatever it is. And the other girl thinking that she's gonna like make fun of her or something. It's like, oh no, it's cute. Like simple interaction, being able to see her later on, be like, look, I got this like pin later on, and it was like, be able to be like, oh, I liked yours. I thought it was like a cute thing to have, so let me get one too. Really, really nice to see. And then her Mitsumi coming to the overall realization of, I'm overanalyzing things. I am looking too far into what other people are doing. I need to just sit back, relax, enjoy myself, have fun, let things take its course, and I'll be at that. But I do need to steadily work towards improving my social abilities and being able to pick up on cues and pick up on how other people's are acting and what their intentions may be. But if I constantly do that, it's going to weigh me down to a point that I'm not going to be able to enjoy anything, and I'm going to suffer, and you don't want that at all. As we said earlier, with the forcing yourself to stay up or constantly have it on your mind and be distracted over things like that, it's not a good thing, and I feel so bad for her. Top it off though, and end us on a bit of a lighter note, like at this karaoke place, it's singing a children's song that absolutely nobody seems to know. Kind of throw them off. It's just fitting for her character. And it was really nice to see them all kind of try and get into it a bit later on, instead of just sit there and be like, what the hell are you doing? Like maybe that was their initial reaction, but her being able to get them all to enjoy themselves and have fun, and I'll be like, damn, she's like just fun to be around. She's unique. She's a little bit different than the others, but it's okay. Like she's very just fun to be around. And it's very, very enjoyable. As we leave, we're able to see Mitsumi make a new friend, which is nice, like officially by having contact info, I guess, and having a way to now communicate with the blonde chick, which is cool. And she decides to part ways. She doesn't want to be there anymore. She's overstayed her welcome in her mind. She doesn't want to be there. She didn't really want to be there to begin with, so being able to get out and dip now, nice to see. And then everybody else kind of branches out and breaks out their way from there. Mika taking full advantage of this, trying to walk in the same direction and go home in a similar direction, I guess, as Shima, and being able to talk to him a bit more when she has her opportunities here. Shima kind of just tells her then and there, like, you gotta loosen up a bit. You gotta stop taking this so serious. You gotta stop acting how you kind of are. You'll have a lot more fun if you don't take things as serious, which is one of the most true things ever. I unfortunately suffer from the same type of situation, not in the more evil intention route that I guess Mika goes, but more of the, I take a lot of the stuff I do pretty serious, and then it kind of drives the fun out of a lot of things that I do, which is why I've tried to slowly, redo and reinvent things that I do, or like go a different direction that I'm in, just to kind of put myself in a different spot and not have to feel like I have to take everything as serious that I am, and just have some fun with it. And it makes things a million times more enjoyable. To relate a bit, I used to do something where I would listen to music or albums, and then I would write kind of like reviews or like overall thoughts and stuff like that based on the album. I would give it, a rating. I would do stuff similar to that. This was years and years ago. And I had like a whole page and stuff that I was doing stuff like that on. Unfortunately, though, I got myself to the point where I was taking it a little too serious, and I was so focused on, instead of just sitting there and listening to music and being like, oh, I like this, or oh, this is enjoyable, or oh, this can be catchy or something, I was trying to overanalyze literally every little thing that was involved in it. And it drove me to a point that within 1 year, not even a year, it called like literally like 6-7 months probably, I drove myself to a point that I lost all interest in it. And I went from listening to, 50 to 100 different albums throughout a year to, over the course of the next 2 or 3 years, I maybe listened to a total of like 15 new albums, and I missed music from those entire few years because I drove myself to a point that I didn't want to listen to new things, that I didn't want to have to take a chance and be like, oh, maybe I'll like this. I put myself in a position where I kind of drove all the fun out of what I initially thought was going to be a fun, enjoyable thing for me to do and listen to music and just talk about my overall things. Similar to what I'm kind of doing here, but I'm trying to find more enjoyable in things that I can relate to my, life and different aspects and stuff with these type of videos. Which I think was a necessary step for me to take, right? It's a necessary thing for you to understand. I put myself in this position. I did overthink it. I kind of put myself in that spot, and now I can rework how I kind of did things, move forward into a different direction a few years later, and then not make those same mistakes again. And it's something that always ends up happening, and maybe you will regret things in the past. And I think in Mika's situation here, it can work in a very similar route. Understands other people are kind of onto you. Maybe don't take things a little serious, be a bit more loose, become a bit more friendly with other people. Don't have these bad intentions that you need to, like, don't get overly jealous or anything like that. Just let things ride its course, see what happens. Something else will come along eventually for you. And whether it involves Shima or involves somebody else, just kind of take a chill and have fun and try and find the joy in the things you're doing, because ultimately she's going to find herself in a situation where if she does end up with her end goal of being around Shima as much as she wants to, she's not going to enjoy it as much as she thinks that she is. It's one of those things where the journey is always better than, the destination that you get to. And it's very similar to that. She's not going to she's going to be like, I worked my ass off for how long to get this to go. And absolutely nothing amounted out of it, or if that happens, I guess. But if it does, something ever did come out of it, she's going to be like, now what? And then you have to look for something else. But all the things that were driving you and fueling you the entire time to keep it going, it just wears you down over time. It's not a good situation to be in. So hopefully we do see some development on her part. Hopefully we do get to see her change up. I think there was a character very similar, and I can't remember the name of it. Music anime. They were playing weird instruments. Hold on, I'll look it up. Sounds of Life. What was the girl's name? If you've seen it, you know. Karusu, is that how you say it? Her. This girl, put her on screen now. She is a very similar character in a way. She likes this dude. I'm pretty sure if I'm remembering this correct. Wants nobody else to get in her way or get around them. And then she goes and kind of sets other people up and tries to lay traps and do all these bad things and put these thoughts and negative things in other people's minds to kind of get what she wants, till ultimately everything blows up in her face. She's very similar to that. And then you get to see her go through a whole arc of kind of realizing the mistakes that she's made and why she shouldn't be that way, and then trying to get other people to now accept who she is. And then ultimately she becomes a part of the group and things go well. But you hate her at first, right? And I feel like Mika could be very similar in that situation. People don't like her. I don't like her at all as a character right now. But she could be somebody who kind of comes around and understands what she's done, and then put herself in a position later on where she can kind of start winning people back and start, ingraining or putting herself in the group a bit more and become a bit more understanding of the bad things that she was doing to other people, and maybe change up a little bit and then become just a lot more likable. So I guess that's very possible. Or we could just get rid of her completely and not have her around. But I don't know the route that they'll end up taking with that. Shima kind of just dismissing her, though, and then running along to find Mitsumi so that they can walk home together, having the conversation again about the dog and the nickname that they have, and then both of them kind of just go on a first name and nickname basis that they have for each other now, which is a very cute and fun scene to see, and happy that that happened. But what happens with that is you immediately kind of get a reaction and looks from other people if you start using names around them. So sometimes where you have things where people don't use names with each other, specifically when they're like at school or around other people because they don't want attention like that. This situation, they don't care, and they're just open with each other. So you immediately get a reaction when you go to school by somebody hearing you say that. Mitsumi, I wonder if she even, she probably does, but I wonder if she does understand the significance of this situation because of her, life being in the countryside all of her life and not having a lot of people around, and probably being so natural to call everybody by nicknames and stuff. I wonder if that is something that she realizes could have a big, effect if other people really start hearing it. But it might not be that big a deal because everybody in the show seems to be a bit more understanding than most of the others. So we get introduced to a new character who's like the class leader, I guess, of the second years, but he's also like president or head of theater club or something similar to that, and is trying to recruit more and more people to come in because they need more members. Makes perfect sense, while trying to convince others to come and just at least watch the play that they're going to put on and figure out if they want to end up joining or not. runs into Shima as Shima tries to get him to back off and be like, you got to stop bothering other people, but actually recognizes Shima and is like, oh, I know you from somewhere. And she was like, no, I don't think you do, trying to kind of brush that off in a way. After the play is over, we see Mitsumi get up ready to kind of, I think she's going to go leave, and she notices Shima was there, and even though he said he wasn't going to end up showing up, so she runs after him and tries to talk to him, but you can immediately tell he seems a little down. Something seems a little off, despite him putting on a smile. It looks very forced. It feels very forced. He doesn't seem like he's in a position that he really wants to hang out with other people or talk to people right about now, and he's not in a good spot. So basically, keep your distance in a way. Don't really pry, and especially in these sort of situations. And even though he still drops some things and, you know, gives her some advice and things to kind of help her along, he's like, I gotta go though. Like, I can't spend all day just kind of walking home today. Which happens. He wants to be alone. She respects that, lets him go. But now she's becoming a bit more aware that there's something going on or something underlying with him a bit more. And maybe he isn't just as happy and kind-hearted of a person like to come off as she was seeing all these other times, and she was kind of just expecting him to be as a person. Now she is realizing there's more layers to him than just that. Our theater boy comes up and ends up finding Shima again, and he calls him Kanade-kun, which I don't think has any relation of any sorts to his name, so that can mean a couple things, which I'll go into in a second. But Shima immediately kind of pulls him aside, tells his friends, go on without me, don't worry about me. And he's like, dude, it's amazing you can call yourself, this line's great, it's amazing you can call yourself a playwright when you can't even pick up on that, like that he doesn't want to be called this, and he doesn't want to bring any light to this attention, like to what he used to be or something like that, right? Which is absolutely hilarious to me. I guess what exactly would that mean by him calling him that? And there's a few different options. I think more likely what's to go on is he probably was involved with plays and theater and stuff at some point when he was younger, and something occurred where he kind of grew to resent that, or he grew to resent the person that he was when he was involved with it, or the people that were associated with it in some sort of way, and he's kind of distanced himself completely from it and wanted to change up who he is as a person and doesn't want to be like that anymore or be involved with that anymore. So he's trying to hide from that. That's why he goes to a different school now than all of his friends that we saw last time. That's why he seems to be so, you know, happy and nice to everybody. He is kind of putting on a front a little bit, and maybe he is very kind-hearted and good of a person, but he still is kind of forcing it a bit, and he feels like he probably has to because of this. And he's trying to run away and hide from this past, but him showing back up at the theater is a natural thing. It's something it is kind of in you. It is, if this is something that he actually did have to do when he was younger, or he was involved in when he was younger, he's drawn right to it. And despite him kind of not wanting to admit to himself that's the case, he does show up and he does go and he does watch and he does keep it in mind what's going on and kind of keep tabs and stuff like that. So it's interesting to see. He definitely is a mystery for sure with that. I think it's more likely something like that, and I think there definitely are a few different routes it could play out on different options, but I'm not going to overly, you know, think about that and theorize on that. I'd much rather just wait a week and figure out maybe next week a bit more as to what it could be, or down the line about what it could be. But he definitely is hiding something, so my guess on that and observations of that last week were definitely right. Overall, just a brilliant episode. Fantastic. I think it was well better than the last one. It introduced a lot of different stuff. Some stuff I probably didn't even bring up and talk about. Some things I probably definitely overlooked and just rambled on about for sure. But yeah, great nonetheless. And I'm so excited to see where this heads next and to get more of this next week for sure. Once again, thank you all for joining if you did again this week, and the support that we got, especially last week on this. If you like this one at all, though, hit the like and subscribe. They do mean a lot to me. You can check me out on Twitter and my anime list. Both links are in the description. Please leave any comments about the episode overall, the series overall, thoughts and opinions on literally anything else that you want to talk about. And yeah, I'll be back next week, 1000% for episode 3. You have a good one. See ya.